Hello everyone, welcome to Cornflower Crafts. My nickname is Corn, and I'm here today to show you what I did for the open collab that is Stamp Play. Our hostess is Susan's Heartstrings, and she is so sweet and so kind. If you don't know Susan, I highly recommend her channel. She's talented, and she has this voice that if you're having a really bad day and you can just sit there and listen to her and say, okay, it's not so bad. Besides being talented too, and she does share her knowledge. So most of it, if you're new to my channel, thank you for being here. If you've been with me since the beginning, thank you for being here. And if you've been here a while, you know I'm not a clever stamper, nor have I ever been. I have issues when it comes to stamping, but I just keep plugging away. You know what I mean? I'm just like, especially because of this collab, because Susan is so sweet. This is my kind of collab. You don't post it on a certain day. You don't, or time or anything. It's just, it's open and it's a relaxed one. And as Susan says, no pressure. And for me, that helps me to stay healthy. And for me, that makes me want to do it, you know. So I can tell you I did fail when it came to embossing. I went out last week and purchased an embossing pad, ink pad, and then these, you know, my colors. These are my colors: aqua tinsel, pink tinsel, and bridal tinsel. And I thought, you know, give me my colors, give me a little bit of shine and shimmer, and I'll be happy. Well, that was what I had hoped for. But what happened was I ended up getting this. This is from Hobby Lobby for $4.99, their embossing pad. And I was not successful with the combination of this pad and this heat gun, because you know, I watch some videos in the middle of the night when I can't sleep on embossing, and they warn you, do not keep going on and on, you know, super, super close and just for a long time, because it will burn, you know, you'll get bubbles and you can even mess up your paper, so don't do it. So what I've learned, and I said to Handsome, I said, sweetie pie, before I learned this, I said, sweetie, for me, and I showed him the other heat tools, and they're so narrow and the heat is concentrated. And I said, you know, to me, because this isn't, I think the embossing, I would do better because I'm so concerned about too much heat with the other tool, and use this one for when I have to dry things for mixed media. And so I showed him some of the other embossing heat tools online, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then I saw a few videos the next night saying, yeah, this is great for drying things, and, you know, because of lower heat, and it disperses the heat really well. And I've had this for several years. So I think that's where I went wrong. I don't think it was a patience thing. I think, number one, this is the first time I've ever done it. And number two, when it came to a success, as you see here, you can see the butterflies and that pretty rose at the bottom. That was not done with this ink pad. That was done with the Versamark. And I didn't even know I had it. I had gotten it years ago on sale. And just put it, you know, in the ink bin and left it. So I had success with the Versamark. This kind of success. And I hope that the light is showing just how glittery these babies are, you know. And what I had tried first was to do this stamp. These stamps have been around for a long time. I don't even remember where I got them because I took the packaging off. But I thought, ooh, pink on pink and all that glitter would be darling doilies, you know. So that's before the Versamark, had this ink pad and the pink, what do they call it? Yeah, just pink tinsel. And as you see, there's I don't even know if it's showing up. There's a teeny tiny bit of it that got embossed, but for the most part, no. And that was for some time, y'all. I wasn't going like, okay. No, you know what I mean? That was for quite some time. So, but I was like, well, I want to stamp something out because, you know, of stampplay. So this is with no embossing whatsoever. So what you see is it did lighten it. You can see from the bottom ones are the same. It did lighten it because that's the exact same color and everything. Just this was an embossed embossed attempt. So it did lighten it, and you do get a few little little specks of glitter there, but that's it. And then I was just so, I don't know, to be real honest, I don't enjoy failing at something. I mean, I don't. It's not a fun time for me personally, but I was like, just, you know, get the other heating tool. And there again, you look on YouTube for that, and someone will tell you this is the best one ever, ever, ever. And then the next person will say, oh, I didn't like that one. And you're like, oh, mercy. What I'm thinking about getting, and if you want to give me your opinions, if you know it, is the one that's wow. And that seems to have, that has the dual temperature, low and high. And I'm thinking about getting that one. So far, I haven't heard a bad word about it, so maybe that'll help me in my future endeavors. So what I did next, you all saw, if you saw the video, I was gifted this color layering stamp set from Hero Arts by Janet, who is Crafts and Tea with Janet K. I will put her and Susan's channel, list them in my description box. And I failed on this one too, y'all. Now, when it came to the flower, y'all, it was just like bam, bam, bam. And I was like, oh man, am I getting it? Am I actually getting the how to do some stamping? And then it came to the stem and the leaves. And I will show you. This is the stamp, but I don't know if you can see. It is extremely narrow, which it should be for the size. The designer who drew this and designed it is right. You aren't supposed to have this huge, like I have right here, this huge stem. You're supposed to have a little tiny one, and you have these two that one goes on, and then you layer over top of it your outline, basically, in two separate greens. Well, with my eyesight and just fumbling with them, to be honest, I didn't get it right where it was supposed to be. So, me being me, I was working with Distress inks and a Distress oxide. I was like, well, I can put a little water there and do like a little watercolor with it and correct my mistake. Get the shading, make it like a shading, you know, and so that's That's what happened there with me correcting my mistake. That is a fat stem. And I did the same thing with the leaf. I thought, no, be careful. My head was almost, with my eyesight and stuff, my head was almost on the card. I'm not lying. I was like, put it right here. And no. So my way of correcting that, as you see, there's a pretty glittery butterfly that's just going to go get some pollen right here. That's the thing y'all know. If I make a boo-boo, you all know about it. I'm not going to pretend that I'm this perfect crafter and I do everything perfect and all stuff, because it's not true. I'm happy with the way it turned out, but to be honest, not before my butterfly corrected my mistake. And yes, I do know this is a little thicker than it should be, but I still like it, you know. And I still went ahead and die cut it. And I've got some more die cuts here, and a lace, and then lace on top of lace. And then the background here, that is a pearlized. I put so much lace on I can't see, but a pearlized yellow paper behind it to bring out the pollen here. But I love how the flower came out. I think the iris came out lovely. So I've learned that these... when you have the layers, the coloring layers, as they show you right here, you know, this plus this plus this, you know, comes out really, really pretty. I personally think, and thank you, Janet, again for that stamp set, because I was just so excited when I saw the iris. I really was. I was like, yes. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.